He's going to be fighting for a UFC contract, not tomorrow, but the week following, when he takes on, what is this gentleman's name? Alex Munoz, for a shot at an opportunity in the world's elite fighting organization. You know him, you love him. Nick Newell is here. Nick, how are you, sir? Look at that smile.
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be back on the show, and I'm glad to have this opportunity in front of me, of course.
Yeah, man. So how are things? Like you're, what, 7, 8 days removed? Are you feeling, does it feel like any other fight?
Yeah, I mean, right now this is my 18th fight. So, I'm not as seasoned as some other guys, but I definitely would say I'm creeping into veteran status, and I'm feeling super comfortable. I'm feeling really great. My body's always been like kind of an issue, but everything feels good. I'm running on all cylinders, and I had a great camp. So, when the day comes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready to fight, and I can tell you that I work my ass off, and I'm hungry.
So let's talk about your body, which sounds like a really strange way to phrase the question, but here's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, you had some physical issues. You talked about them. It was why you retired to begin with. How different was your return fights camp and this fight camp relative to the camps prior to your retirement?
I had to figure some things out. I had to really learn a lot. First off, I had to take a step back and just kind of breathe. I was getting a little frustrated because I thought, like, when I started fighting, my goal was to get to the UFC, and that's what I wanted, and I just thought it was never going to happen. So, I always pride myself as being like very mentally strong, but I felt a little defeated. I wasn't really happy with the way things were going, and my body was run down, and I had to take a step back, breathe, and kind of reassess some things, and I wanted to make sure that when I came back, I was ready for MMA at the highest level. So I took those 2 years, and I really trained the entire time and focused on the things I needed to focus on to be ready for if that shot were to come.
Do you ever get sick of answering for the congenital amputation? Here's what I mean. I know some folks have said to me, well, how much were his injury woes a function of that and him having to adapt his training? But I don't know why that would be the case, right? Like, because every fighter has some degree of injury woes. So do you ever get tired of like having to answer for it in this ever-present way?
Yeah, I mean, I hate, sometimes being the guy with the one-handed fighter, but it's something that I can't escape, and it's something that I've kind of just come to terms with. That's what I'll be known as. It's a part of me. It's not what defines me. Definitely, I will say this, that I did have to really, really work very, very hard, and come from almost nothing to get to where I am. I lost my first 17 wrestling matches, and while everyone was out having fun, going to parties and stuff, I was training all summer long, and getting better, and that started from when I was 14 years old to all the way now. I'm 32, and I've never really stepped back. I had to reassess some things, and when I took that break, I was still working my technique and stuff like that. But um, it's always going to be something that people say, and I've just kind of come to terms with it. That's the way that things are.
And your injuries, though, they were what? They were back related?
Yeah, my back, my neck. I had some knee problems, but they're all feeling good right now. Obviously, I'll still wear a brace just because I'm like kind of scared, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Let's talk about what's coming up next Tuesday. I'm sure you've seen the show, but forget about that for just a moment. Does this feel like the culmination of everything? Like, does the gravity of the moment? Are you aware of it? Are you wearing it every day?
Not really. I have a lot of things going on that keep my mind and keep me really busy, and I think it's a good thing. I definitely take a lot of time to recover and relax and do all that stuff that I know I have to do. But I own my own gym now, so like I have that, and I have my training, and my wife and I are expecting our first baby
Oh,
in
congratulations.
November. So yeah, yesterday we found out it's going to be a boy.
That's
So
great.
that's cool. But I have these things, and some people would say, "Oh, these are distractions." But for me, I think that they're great things, and it helps me be more focused and stay more on top of what I have and what I have to fight for. In the past, I was younger. I didn't have anything to worry about. I wasn't really um, I just think staying busy is a great thing, and I'm not letting the moment get to me. I think that I've busted my ass and I've done everything I think that I should do and can do to get ready for this fight. So there's nothing in the back of my mind that really worries me because I'm going to be 100% prepared, the best of my abilities, come next Tuesday.
You know what vibe you have right now? You got a bit of the Dominic Cruz after he beat TJ Dillashaw vibe, which was as soon as all those injuries that had sidelined him for so long, it was when he was ready to let the title go. That's when he was the most ready to take a step forward in his career. When he wasn't obsessed with certain milestones or titles. You seem like maybe you were ready for the UFC before your retirement, but I don't know. You're coming back. The degree of wisdom you now have as an older man, healthy again, now seems like actually the best time to make this run for you.
Yeah, 100%. I just have a lot of things going on in my life, and my life outside of fighting is fantastic. I have such a great life and such a good support system that um, I don't really feel the pressure. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna punch the clock and I'm gonna do what I have to do to get the job done, like I've done many other times before. And that's the way that it is. That's what I got to do, and I know what I have to do, and I'm gonna get it done.
Do you think the MMA community is on your side, or do they want to see you fail? What do you think?
I definitely have. It's either people are hardcore with me or hardcore against me. There's no like, oh yeah, he's okay. People either really want to see me win or really want to see me lose for some reason. Um, I think that for the most part, people have my back and they want to see me win. I would say it's a good story. Obviously, I have a good story with me. Um, it's a good meter of what people facing a certain obstacle can accomplish. I don't think anything that I do is or what I fail to do would be a measure of what they can't accomplish, but I know where I stand in this sport, and I know that there's going to be a lot of eyes on me. And if I win, it's going to be bigger than anyone else that's ever won on this show. And if I lose, it's going to be worse than anyone has ever gotten it on the show. And I know that, and I knew that going into this camp, and I knew that when I accepted the fight. So for me, that was extra motivation to make sure that everything goes right and I'm on point for this fight. And I'm telling you, Luke, it's going to be something else this Tuesday. It's really going to be something else. I had a full camp, all 100% focused around me. Everything that I did was watched and looked over and revised or corrected, and I just feel the best I've ever felt going into a fight, and the most confident I've ever felt going into a fight.
Let's talk about your opponent, Alex Munoz. What do you know about him?
Um, I found out a little bit about him. I had my wrestling coach looked him up, and he's I guess he's a good wrestler. I think he won a national championship, maybe in high school, and he was a D1 wrestler. So I mean, obviously, wrestlers are always the toughest fight for anyone. Everyone tries to always avoid them, but for me, I welcome challenges and I welcome tough fights, and I've wrestled and trained with people that are more accomplished than him, and I've been able to take them down, control them, submit them, outstrike them, stop their takedowns. So for me, it's not a matter of really who I'm fighting. It's just about me showing up and performing. I'm sure he's very hungry, and this is a good opportunity for him. And I feel like maybe the UFC were like, oh, we got this guy who's an up and comer. It was a really tough fight, and we're gonna see if Nick's the real deal or if he's not. And I kind of welcome that. That's kind of the fight that I wanted, and that's what I'm looking forward to is fighting a tough guy like this. And I think style-wise, he's going to get really discouraged, and it's going to be a very tough fight. And I imagine that I'm going to have to maybe go through some tough times, but I've never had trouble earning what I want to accomplish and getting what's mine the hard way.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of alluded to it there, but if you could clarify a little further, it sounds like you feel like this is a fair matchup. Like you got a fair degree of difficulty in an opponent.
Yeah, no, I think he's very tough. I think he's good. I think it's cliche to say, "Oh, my opponent sucks. I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna run through him." And I mean, he it could be a tough fight, but I'm ready for that. I'm ready if it's hard to dig deep, and I've been training to take him out. He's a fast starter. He comes forward, he tries to finish quick, and that really doesn't bode well against someone like me. I fight well against people like that. So for me, it's as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this is a great fight. This is what I've been looking forward to. I'm hungry for this. This is what I want. So I couldn't honestly, I couldn't be happier with the fight. You know, I think it's a good fight, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's very motivating to have it.
So, do you watch the show at all? Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series?
Uh, I watched the highlights. I have UFC Fight Pass, but I mean on the East Coast, I train till about 9 o'clock, and then like 9:30 cool down, and then by the time I get home, it's 10 o'clock, and the show's over. So
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying that, but it's the truth. So I watch it. I watch it like either afterwards, or I just kind of watch some of the highlights.
All right. The reason why I ask is because there's an interesting way to get a contract on there. Now, it's not true that if it goes into the third round, you can't get a contract. We saw a guy last week get that very thing. But it does appear to me that the sooner that fight is over, the better your chances. So I'm wondering, does that reality affect your game plan where it's not just about winning or losing, it's about winning a certain kind of way and with a certain kind of speed?
Yeah, I do notice that. I do follow that, and obviously, whenever an East Coast guy fights on that show, I watch it every single time. Um, no, it doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna win. I never really try to finish fights fast. It just happens. I have 11 first round wins, and then two more as an amateur. So I've been known to take people out pretty quick, and good fighters too. So I think if I come in level headed and calm, and I can get it done, as opposed to someone that's just coming out like a bat out of hell, trying to finish quick because they want this contract. I'm just trying to win.
I don't know if you saw it. I forget which fight it was, but Dana White was speaking to the media. It was not the most recent one. It was several events ago, but I can no longer keep them straight, despite that being my primary occupation to do so. Anyway, long story short, Dana White was asked about you, and he was saying, "Yeah, look, if Nick goes in there and destroys this guy, I'll look like a genius, and if you lose, there will be bad press about how you let in a guy with this condition." Let me ask you about that argument. I have found that argument to be total bullshit from day one, in part because of what happened with you and Justin Gaethje. Like this tidal wave of criticism that was supposed to happen when you lost, right? It never materialized. Are you surprised that in 2018 this is still a thing people trot out?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, people always talk shit whenever someone loses. Anytime a fighter loses, oh, retire, or you should be done, or he should have never been in there. And it's the same with me. They just use it as my arm, and I think that Dana is putting too much weight into what people that are just going to talk trash about him no matter what have to say. But all the knowledgeable people, I've never heard one fighter that's in there and knowledgeable say, "Oh, Nick doesn't deserve a chance. He's going to get hurt." No one says that. All the fighters that I've trained with, especially, know that I'm ready, and the high level ones out there that I've trained with know that I'm ready, and good to go. And I just don't really care about people's opinions. I don't care what people think about me. I never even really looked at myself as being that different until I became like popular from fighting, and people are telling me what I can't do while I'm already doing it. And when I lost to Justin Gaethje, that was a good fight. But he won, and the world kept going and kept turning. And my next fight for WSOF, I was a co-main event, and the place was going absolutely insane. And afterwards, everyone started to leave. And like the announcer was like begging people to stay, like, please stay, we got a great main event. We want everyone in the crowd to be here for the main event, but everyone just left. And that's a testament to the kind of crowd that I bring in and the people that want to see me and my draw value. And I don't think it goes down anymore with a loss for challenging myself. I feel like some people look at me like I'm the only fighter in the world that's not allowed to ever lose a fight. If I lose one, then I should have never been fighting in the first place, which is ridiculous. All I want is an equal chance like everyone else, and I want these tough fights. And maybe I do have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, but it has nothing to do with me having one hand. It just has something to do with me being a competitor.
Two-part question. How's the weight? And secondly, what is your theory for why no one has ever missed weight for the Contender Series show?
Because they're hungry. They're young and hungry, and sometimes these guys in the UFC, they get content and maybe they don't train as hard as they should or something like that. You never have to worry about me missing weight. I think I'm not the biggest 155 pounder, but I'm on the bigger end. I think it's a reasonable weight class for me. And, I made 150 before, which I thought was a big mistake. That was a horrible, horrible thing. But 155 is a good home for me, and I'm going to make weight. No problem. I'm already under 170, and I feel great.
When do you leave for Vegas, by the way?
Saturday. Saturday, I head out to Vegas.
Right on. Okay. Hey, I was told, I don't know if this is true, so please correct the record. Is it true that you've not advanced past the Nintendo 64? Like you just gave up on video games at the 64? Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know where you heard that. I gave up on well, now I've given up because it's just too much. I just don't have enough time. I just love Nintendo 64. I have a collection. I have probably like 80 games, maybe, and 64 games. I have an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 2, but I just didn't like them the same. And then eventually I just kind of gave up on it. And I'm like, I'm just going to play games that I like. So I'm a big time 64 guy. And if anyone wants to play me, you know where to find me.
By the way, I just bought, I don't know if you've seen these. I got the retro NES, the Nintendo system, but it's like not much bigger than an iPad. It's super small. It's got 30 games built into it. It's like the greatest purchase I've made. $60. Can't go wrong with it. You got to get it.
Yeah, I have a modded old Xbox, not legal, but it has like every Nintendo, Super Nintendo game on it. But I hate not playing it on the original controller, so that would definitely be something I'd have to check into.
And by the way, why are you a cat guy? Does that mean you're not a dog guy?
No, man, come on, that's wild. I like dogs, okay? I don't hate dogs. I just love cats. I love my cats, and I don't care what anyone says. And people talk trash about cats come over to my house and they're like, "Oh, your cats are cool." I'm like, "Yeah, man. We just chill all the time, and they sit on your lap, and you don't have to take them outside to go to the bathroom." One second.
Yeah, bring him. Oh, hell yeah. By the way, I'm an owner of 2 dogs. There he is. Look at him. What's his name?
This is Boba.
Like Boba Fett?
After Boba Fett.
He's not much of a bounty hunter, is he?
Yeah, he's kind of a little baby. He's a good cat though. He's very friendly.
All right, what's the biggest misconception about cats?
That they're mean, they don't like people, they don't follow you around. This guy follows me everywhere and he's hanging out with me all the time. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people have to say about me, and I love my cats just like I love fighting. And people say I shouldn't fight, or this or that. And people say, "Oh, well, you don't like dogs." Like, of course I like dogs. I just like cats too.
You know what? We gotta let you go, but I wanted to tell you this. I'm supposed to remain objective in this role, but that's not real. No one really is objective in this role. I certainly have not one thing against Alex Munoz, and if the fates decides that he's the rightful winner, then so be it. But I have to tell you, Nick, I've been watching your career for a long time. I met you in studio at MMA Uncensored Live 6 years ago. It would be nice to see you stick it to the haters. I will admit that on air.
Yeah, hey, it would be nice. It's easier said than done, but I'm making it easier to be done every day when I'm out there busting my ass to get it done. And confidence is definitely on my side, and I have some great momentum, and I have a fantastic team. I had a great camp, and I couldn't honestly feel like all the pieces are coming together for a great performance.
No excuses one way or the other, right?
Yeah, hell no. I've lost so many times in wrestling and in life that I've learned. It's made me appreciate winning that much more, and it's made me learn how to do everything right to make sure you do win, and it's helped me keep a level head. And the better man's gonna win. The better man's gonna win on this day, and nothing against him. It's just that I'm ready, and I'm ready to really put on a show, and I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm going to certainly surprise him.
Tuesday, July
You can't
24th.
train. People say this all the time. This is the most cliche thing that anyone ever said, ever. You never fought anyone like me. You can't train for someone like me. Every fighter says that, but how many fighters is that true for?
You make a compelling point. I can't wait to watch it. Nick Newell takes on Alex Munoz Tuesday, July 24th on Fight Pass as part of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. It's the main event, no less. Nick, can't wait to see your fight. Thank you so much for your time, and your cats are cool, man.
Thank you, and I'll come visit you. I'll come visit you after I win.
Yeah, come in studio. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Take care.
I'll see you.
There he goes. All right, man. What a guy. What a guy, right? I met him in studio. God, he was there in 2012 in Times Square. He came in studio, and I won't say which fighter, but if another fighter grabbed him by his arm on the congenital amputation and kind of looked at it like he didn't know what to make of it. It was a very, I don't know, direct way of meeting Nick Newell, this person did. But look, I don't know Alex Munoz. I'm sure he is a tremendous guy. I don't wish anybody ill will. The right man should win. But in an abstract sense, it would be kind of nice to see him stick it to the critics. It really would. But he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it like everybody else.